Somewhere out there right now, a 40-year-old van with faded pinstripes and crushed velour seats is doing the exact job a brand new $80,000 camper van does, sleeping two people, cooking dinner, and rolling down the highway. The difference is that the old van cost less than the sales tax on the new one. The 1980s were the golden age of the American conversion van and the birth of the modern camper van, and the machines from that decade were built with steel bodies, simple V8 engines, and interiors made of real wood and real fabric instead of glued plastic. Today, they're sitting in driveways, barns, and estate sales across the country, priced like used lawn tractors. Here are 15 camper vans from the 80s that can start your van life without emptying your retirement account. And number 1 is the van that invented the whole idea. Number 15, the Chevy G20 and GMC Vandura conversions. Let's start with the cheapest ticket into van life that exists, the van you can buy this weekend. Through the 80s, companies with names like Explorer, Starcraft, and Horizon took plain Chevy G20 and GMC Vandura cargo vans and turned them into rolling living rooms. Fiberglass high-top roofs you could nearly stand under, captain's chairs wrapped in velour, oak trim, curtains, and a rear bench that folded flat into a bed. Under the hood sat the Chevrolet small block V8, an engine so common that every parts store in America still stocks nearly everything it needs. These vans were bought by grandparents, driven gently to church and back, and parked. That's why so many survive with low miles and clean interiors. They were never true campers from the factory, but the bones are perfect. Add a cooler, a camp stove, and a power station, and you're camping tonight. A tired one costs a couple $1,000s. A pampered one costs less than a new golf cart. As a first van, nothing on this list is easier to find or cheaper to buy. Number 14, the Ford Econoline conversions. The Chevy is the easiest van to buy. This one is the easiest to keep alive. Ford built the Econoline like a farm truck wearing a van body, with a heavy frame and drivetrains borrowed from its pickup line. Conversion companies loved it, and through the 80s they cranked out high-top Econolines with the same plush treatment, wood cabinets, dinette tables, and fold-down beds. The magic of the Econoline today is parts. Ford kept that platform in production for decades, which means brake parts, suspension pieces, and engine components interchange across an enormous range of years. A shade tree mechanic with a socket set can keep one running practically forever, and any small-town garage in the country has worked on 100 of them. Compare that to a modern European chassis camper van, where a check engine light can mean a 3-week wait for a sensor shipped from overseas. The Econoline conversion won't win any beauty contests. It starts, it tows, it sleeps too, and when something breaks, it costs pocket change to fix. That's what affordable van life actually looks like. Number 13, the Dodge Ram van conversions. The Chevy and the Ford were what the conversion shops used. The Dodge was what the professional camper builders chose, and that choice quietly carried the entire American camper industry on its back. The Dodge B-Series van, usually powered by the legendary 318 cubic inch V8, was the chassis of choice for nearly every serious camper converter in the 80s, and for good reason. The 318 is one of the most durable engines Detroit ever produced, an iron workhorse famous for running past 200,000 miles with nothing but oil changes. Dodge B250 conversions came with the same high tops and velour thrones as the competition, but they hid a secret. Because the professional camper companies standardized on this chassis, the aftermarket knowledge is bottomless. Owners, clubs, forums, and old-timers at every campground can tell you exactly which part fits and which trick works. These vans have become the darlings of the young van life crowd on a budget, which means the ones the kids haven't found yet are still cheap. Look for the grandma-owned church van with the 318, spend a weekend on the interior, and you'll have a camper that shrugs off mountain passes while modern turbocharged vans sit at the dealer waiting on software updates. Number 12, the Winnebago Lachero. Here's the strangest bargain in the entire RV world. In 1983, Winnebago wanted to build a small, fuel-efficient Euro-style camper van, so they imported front-wheel drive Renault chassis from France and built sleek fiberglass bodies on top in Iowa. The result was the Lasharo, a genuinely clever little motorhome with a full wet bath, a kitchen, and a bed in a package barely bigger than a full-size van, sipping fuel while the big Class A rigs of the day drank it by the barrel. The catch, and the reason they're so cheap, is that Renault drivetrain. Parts are scarce and mechanics who'll touch one are scarcer. So why is it on this list? Because Lasharos sell for almost nothing, and a whole community of owners has spent decades swapping in common American engines and transmissions. Buy one with the swap already done, and you get 80s space-age styling and a real bathroom for the price of a used sedan. It's the oddball of the countdown, but for the right handy owner, it's a steal wearing a French accent. Number 11. The Toyota van campers. In the mid-80s, Toyota sent America a spaceship. Officially, it was just called the Toyota van, though dealers nicknamed it the Wonder Wagon. It was a mid-engine box with the driver sitting practically over the front wheels, ice makers in the fancy trims, and the flattest floor in the business because the engine lived under the front seats. Camper converters and clever owners turned these into tiny rolling apartments, and they made wonderful ones, because the Wonder Wagon combined Toyota reliability with fuel economy that full-size vans could only dream about. These vans routinely sail past 250,000 miles on basic maintenance, and their compact size means they park anywhere a Camry parks, which matters more in van life than most beginners realize. Stealth camping in a Toyota van is easy. Stealth camping in a 40-foot fifth wheel is a crime scene. Prices stayed low for decades because the styling was odd, but the cult is growing. Find one before the internet finishes falling in love with them, and you'll own the most dependable little camper of the decade. Number 10. The Explorer 228. Out of Brown City, Michigan came a family company called Frank Industries, and they'd been building factory camper vans since the 60s, long before van life was a hashtag. Their 80s masterpiece was the Explorer 228, built on that trusty Dodge chassis with the 318 V8, but this was no weekend conversion. The Explorer was a real motorhome squeezed into a van body, with a permanent bed, a genuine galley with stove and refrigerator, a furnace, water tanks, and on many models a small bathroom. The Frank family built them with Michigan craftsmanship, solid cabinetry, and floor plans refined over 20 years of customer feedback. Because the badge never became famous like some names later on this list, Explorers sell for a fraction of what the equivalent road trek brings, despite offering the same self-contained living. That's the move for a budget buyer. Chase the quality, not the logo. A clean Explorer 228 is a turnkey home on wheels from an era when a factory camper van was built by people who signed their work. Number 9. The Vixen 21 TD. Every countdown needs a wild card, and this one was designed by the man who engineered the Pontiac GTO. Bill Collins built the Vixen in Pontiac, Michigan from 1986 to 1989, and it was like nothing before or since. A low, sleek, aerodynamic motorhome only about 7 feet tall, powered by a BMW turbodiesel mounted in the rear, with a 5-speed manual transmission. It fit in a normal garage, cruised at highway speed, and delivered fuel economy in the 20s, when big motorhomes struggled to hit single digits. The company built only a few hundred before the money ran out, and for decades, Vixens traded hands for peanuts because nobody knew what they were. The secret is out now, and prices are climbing, but drivers' quality examples still surface at prices ordinary people can reach, especially ones needing cosmetic love. Inside, you get a real bed, galley, and bathroom in a machine that drives like a car. It's the riskiest pick on this list and the one most likely to make strangers walk over at every single gas stop. Number 8. The Sportsmobile. Some companies chase fashion. Sportsmobile has been doing one thing since 1961, turning Ford Econolines into serious campers. and their 80s vans are the sweet spot for budget buyers today. The signature is the penthouse top, a pop-up roof that folds flat for driving, then rises at camp to give you standing room, and an upstairs bed big enough for 2 adults. Underneath that clever roof, Sportsmobile fitted real marine-grade cabinetry, water systems, and thoughtful layouts refined over decades of actual customer use. These were bought by hunters, fishermen, and traveling couples who used them hard and maintained them well. Because they're built on the common econo line, everything mechanical is cheap and every garage can service it, while the camper systems are simple enough to repair at a picnic table. Modern adventure vans copy this exact formula and charge 6 figures for it. An 80s Sportsmobile does the same job, sleeps the same people, and climbs the same forest roads, for the price of a used pickup. 40 years later, the old ones are still out there earning their name. Number 7. The Airstream B190. Yes, that Airstream. In the late 80s, the most famous name in trailers put its badge on a camper van, building the B190 on the tough Ford chassis with a big V8 up front. And Airstream being Airstream, they didn't build it like a weekend toy. The B190 came fully self-contained, with a rear bed, galley, bathroom, generator on many units, and fit and finish a class above the average conversion. These were aimed at retired couples who wanted Airstream quality without towing, and those original owners tended to garage them, service them, and drive them gently to national parks. That's exactly the used van you want to buy. Because the B190 never got the collector halo of the silver trailers, prices stayed down in real people territory, a fraction of what any modern camper van costs. You get the legendary name, the overbuilt construction, and a Ford drivetrain any mechanic in America can fix. For a retired buyer starting van life, this might be the single smartest badge for the buck play on the entire list. Before we hit the top 6, let me mention something for those of you serious about this. Whether you're still dreaming about van life, already living it, or you've got a son, daughter, or friend out there on the road right now, I put together something called the Van Life Savings Manual. It's where I share the real money-saving strategies that don't fit in a video. The parking strategies, the fee workarounds, the overlooked discounts that keep monthly costs shockingly low. The details deserve more than a 30-second mention, so they live in the manual instead. You'll find the link in the description below, or just scan the QR code on your screen right now. It might be the difference between van life draining your savings and van life growing them. Now, back to the countdown, because the top 6 is where the legends live. Number 6, the Pleasure Way. In 1986, in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, a father and son named Merv and Dean Rumpel started converting vans in a small shop, and they did it the old-fashioned way, with real cabinetry and careful hands. Canadian builders had a reputation in the camper van world, and Pleasure Way earned its place in that tradition from day one. Their 80s Dodge-based vans came fully equipped: bed, galley, bathroom, furnace, all wrapped in woodwork that still draws compliments today. For a budget buyer, one detail matters most. Pleasure Way built for the harsh Canadian climate, which means insulation and sealing that southern-built vans never bothered with. A van engineered for a Saskatchewan winter handles an American shoulder season without blinking. The company is still family-run today, still building premium vans, which tells you the philosophy worked. But their earliest vans, the ones from the late 80s, sell for used car money. Because most buyers don't know the history. The people who do know quietly snap them up, drive them for years, and sell them for what they paid. That's not an expense. That's a parking spot for your money. Number 5. The Road Trek 190. Now for the van that solved the problem every van camper had complained about for 30 years: where the bathroom goes. In the early 80s, a company in Kitchener, Ontario, began building camper vans with a stroke of layout genius, placing a real enclosed bathroom in the middle of an ordinary Dodge van without stealing the bed or the kitchen. The Road Trek 190 packed a full galley, a permanent bathroom with toilet and shower, a dinette, and sleeping for two into a van that fit in a standard parking space. It drove like a van, parked like a van, and lived like a motorhome. The formula was so right that Road Trek grew into the best-selling camper van in North America, and the 80s originals that started it all are still on the road in impressive numbers. That Dodge 318 drivetrain runs forever. The systems are simple, and the owner community is enormous and generous with knowledge. A clean 80s Road Trek costs a fraction of the modern version and does 90% of the same job. Cheaper, simpler, and already proven for 40 years. Number 4. The Mitsubishi Delica Star Wagon. Here's the van America never got, and now can finally have. Through the 80s, Mitsubishi built the Delica Star Wagon for the Japanese market, a boxy van with a party trick nothing in America offered. Genuine truck-style four-wheel drive with low range, riding on the running gear of the Pajero off-roader. Japanese owners took them up mountains and across riverbeds. And thanks to the 25-year import rule, these 80s Delicas can now be legally imported into the United States, often for less than a rusty domestic van costs. Importers bring them over from Japan in remarkable condition, because Japanese inspection laws kept them maintained and Japanese roads kept them rust-free. Camper versions and easy conversions abound, and the diesel models sip fuel while climbing trails that stop ordinary camper vans dead. Yes, the steering wheel is on the right side. You'll adjust in a weekend, and you'll spend the rest of your ownership explaining to fascinated strangers what it is. For the van lifer who wants to leave the pavement without a six-figure adventure rig, the Delica is the bargain of the decade. Number 3. The Toyota Hiace Camper. While America was building living rooms on wheels, Toyota was building the most trusted van on planet Earth. The Hiace hauled families in Japan, cargo in Australia, and everything everywhere else, earning a reputation for durability that borders on folklore. 80s Hiace campers, many converted in Japan with pop-tops, tidy galleys, and clever fold-flat beds, are now streaming into North America under that same 25-year import rule. What you're buying is legendary Toyota engineering. These engines are the same family of workhorses that made Toyota trucks famous, machines that treat 300,000 kilometers as a warm-up. The Japanese market campers come with the kind of thoughtful, space-efficient interiors that Japanese design does better than anyone. Every latch precise, every cubby earning its keep. Fuel economy embarrasses every domestic van on this list. Park an 80s Hiace camper next to a modern camper van with its touchscreen control panel and ask which one will still be running in 2050. The smart money, and increasingly the smart van lifers, are betting on the Toyota. Number 2. The Volkswagen Vanagon. Before we crown the king, meet the affordable way into the royal family. Volkswagen's Vanagon, built through the 80s, was the third generation of the famous bus, roomier and better riding than anything before it, with that flat floor and living room seating position drivers love. Everyone wants the factory camper version, and we'll get to it. But the secret for budget buyers is the plain Vanagon, the passenger and cargo models that sell for a fraction of the camper's price. American companies like Adventurewagen and Country Homes built high-top camper conversions on these vans back in the day, and finding one of those, or converting a clean passenger Vanagon yourself, gets you the same beloved chassis, the same enormous community, and the same boxy charm at half the cost or less. Yes, the water-cooled flat-4 engine demands attention, but the Vanagon community is possibly the most devoted in the automotive world, with specialists, part suppliers, and forums covering every bolt. Buy the cheap Vanagon, build it your way, and you're living the same life as the fellow who paid triple. Which brings us to him. Number 1. The Volkswagen Vanagon Westfalia. You knew it was coming. The Westfalia camper, built by the same German coach builder that invented the camper van back in the 50s, reached its full maturity in the 80s Vanagon. Pop the top and you have standing room and an upstairs bed. Inside sits a real galley with stove, sink, and refrigerator, A table, swiveling seats, and storage tucked into every corner with German precision. Nothing about it is oversized, and everything about it works. The Westfalia is the van that proved a family could live well in 80 square feet, and it built the entire culture this video celebrates. Now, clean ones aren't the cheapest van on this list anymore, and that's precisely the point. A Westfalia is the rare vehicle that holds its value while you use it. Buy a fair one, maintain it, enjoy it for 5 years, and history says you'll sell it for what you paid or more. Every other camper on a dealer lot is a melting ice cube. The Westie is a savings account with a bed in it. 40 years on, it's still the smartest money in van life. 15 vans, 1 lesson. The 80s built simple, fixable machines with steel, wood, and honest V8s, and every single one of them can still do the job today for less than the down payment on a new rig. If you owned one of these, or you're eyeballing one right now, tell me which one in the comments. I read every single one. And if this got the wheels turning, subscribe, because I keep digging into the machines they just don't build anymore. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.